you, Toffee. Up you come on, there's a good boy. I was 42 at the time, and I'd waited all that length of time to meet someone that fitted my square hole. When you're in that situation and you've sort of gone that length of time without meeting anyone, you know when something clicks. When I let my house and went to live with Keith back in 1996, I didn't do it thinking, you know, oh, well, it doesn't matter, I can pack my bags and go home again. And I certainly didn't get married. I mean, if it had been up to me, I'd have been married years ago.
Jackie took it much harder than I did. It was very, very hard for her to accept what was happening. I think that's primarily because it's something that she can't do anything about. In her words, she was very angry because of the fact we've only been married 3 years and now this has happened. And we've only got a short time span together from here on.
Got quite used to having a cooked breakfast, didn't you? One of the highlights of your day.
It's a big price to pay, though.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, time.
Thank you.
Your daily dose.
They call it esophageal cancer. It's basically cancer of the esophagus. I've had 5 bouts of chemotherapy in one form or another. And I had a major operation. But the cancer returned at such a quick rate after the operations that they decided that they can't do anything else for me. When you're faced with a life and death situation, you're inclined to hang on to the positives.
Initially, when I was told to start with, I did have moments where it would bring tears to your eyes and you did think, why me? And how could this have possibly happened to me? And goodness me, I'm not going to be here when the Olympics are going to take place and all that type of stuff. My way of coping with it is to look forward to the future as much as I possibly can and see all the pluses that you can get out of it. And I know most people will say, well, you know, what pluses are there to be told that you're terminally ill? Well, it concentrates your mind and it makes you, or it makes me, do things which I would not have done otherwise. Set up things for the future, for the family, for the wife, and the family, and the future of the business.
I don't think anyone can possibly imagine where I'm coming from. It took me 3 or 4 weeks to get over trying to get used to what I was dealing with. And I was going around feeling as though I had a lead weight in my chest and I wasn't sleeping. Ever since he first got ill and was diagnosed back in October, November 2006, obviously the chemo, the first 4 bouts of chemo, made him feel really ill, and that brings out all sorts of frustration and bad-temperedness. And I mean, he's not the man I married 3 years ago. And now the drugs that he's on have completely changed him. In the future, you've got to remember the man that he was before he got ill. How many teaspoonfuls of Oromorph have you had over the last, during the course of the day?
Today?
Well, what about the last couple of days?
Very little, about one a day.
Is that all? Oh, apparently...
But if you remember, a week ago I lost a pat.
What's important to me at the moment is actually caring for Keith and making sure that he gets to do what he wants to do. This is why I want to try and do all these little day trips and long weekends away, going to places that we both like, because when we're away from here, we can think about just us and not the business and the employees and what's going on with the farm and everything else. End of March 1995 we were down here.
Was that the time we came back when it was a bit blustery?
Yeah, actually,
windy?
it was windy, but it was absolutely glorious, tucked on, you know, sitting on the beach under the rocks.
I remember you got me up against a rock.
Oh, did you?
We've been very lucky, really. We do lead a very
active and very
full
very
life.
varied life.
And after spending a lifetime being in control to a degree, you're suddenly confronted with something that you've got very little control over, and then you have to adapt. Right. But as long as you can adapt, then you can pull through. Come on, chin up. Chin up, old girl.
They're not much of the old. Once we've got the other side of what we're going through, then I can start thinking about me, can't I?